All right, here we are at the end of another fantastic year at Velo Orange. 2023 has just been such a blur. We've had so many cool things happen. So we've had a couple shows, we've done new frame colors, we've had a bunch of new parts and accessories, we have had a lot of prototypes. So let's recap 2023, and then afterwards we'll jump into what we can expect in 2024. I'm Igor Steinbuch. I've got my go-go juice. So let's hop in. Oh, can I also say how cool this mug is? Our friend Shane is a potter, and he made it for us from an imprint of our head badge. So thank you, Shane. It's awesome. I'm enjoying it. And so let's see. So first up, doing these YouTube videos. I've been really enjoying doing the long form video styles. I feel like I've gotten much more comfortable in front of the camera. I hope you're enjoying them. We want to do a bunch more next year, so be on the lookout for that. If you have any suggestions or anything like that, please, please, please feel free to send us email, message us, slide into our DMs, whatever you want. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Let's jump into frames. We had two new frames. Well, one new, one kind of revamp. So the Rando Frame. The Rando Frame is our rim brake, side pull caliper, road bike frame. You can call it a road bike or gravel bike. Listen, if you ride it on the gravel, then it's a gravel bike. You ride it on the road, it's a road bike. That's how it is. But it's a super comfy machine. It takes wide-ish 700C tires. It's great for chip seal, limestone, light gravel, heavy gravel if you're of that nature. But it's a great bike, and the paint is beautiful. The paint is actually, I don't think I've told you this before, but the paint is actually voted by, I don't know, the world, public, I don't know. It's actually the ugliest color in the world. And that's why Australia uses it on their cigarette packaging, obviously to dissuade people from smoking. But I was curious. I was curious to see what it would look like on a bike, and I saw something similar in one of our paint catalogs, like a swatch that's like a, you know, a Post-it note size. It had some metallics. I took it out in the sun, and it just looked really, really pretty. And so we put it on a bike on one of the prototypes for the Randos. When we get prototypes, we get a bunch of different colors, and this one was our favorite. It was beautiful. It's one of those colors that you look at it in like fluorescent lighting or inside, and it's kind of like a little bit drab, a little brown, a little green. Some people say it's a little yellow, and then you take it outside and it just shines. And that's kind of, when we look at paint colors, that's kind of like when we decide of what does it look like when it's outside, because obviously bikes are ridden outside, and we want to make sure that they're pretty. We want to make sure that people who are riding them enjoy looking at them, and people that aren't riding them are jealous of them. So the Rando paint is definitely one of our favorites that we've done. The PLA is always it's a perpetual favorite for people. It's a great bike packing bike. It's a great kind of very sturdy commuter bike. And this year we put metallic moss paint on it, and we gave it through axles. That's what people wanted. They wanted the through axles, and I think they're great. The bike is selling nicely. I'm pleased with it. Let's see, next is Polyvalence. Polyvalence they've pretty much stayed the same as last year, but we put a new paint on them. It's called Metallic Glacier. It's a very, very pretty blue that lends itself nicely to both black components or a more classic kind of Rando style with silver fenders and handlebars and stuff like that. I'd say its paint is second to the Lilac. The Lilac is definitely one of my favorites that we've ever done. Next up, the Neutrinos. Neutrino with Slam and Salmon paint. I would say that it's a paint that I've wanted to do for a long time. I think the Neutrino lends itself nicely to it because it's kind of a non-traditional sort of paint, non-traditional sort of bike. I think it lends itself well. Some people really, really like it. Other people don't really like it so much, but you know, powder coating nowadays is you can powder coat your bike whatever you want. I'm actually thinking of powder coating one of our bikes because it's a little bit rough and I want to try a different color. So maybe I'll do a video on that, what the whole process is like. Next up is the Pass Hunter. It got a very nice metallic graphite, sort of a dark gray with deep rainbow metallic flake in the clear coat. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. It's also kind of understated, and when you get it out in the sun, it just shines like a sort of like a rainbow, I guess. Metallic rainbow, metallic gray rainbow paint. It looks really nice. And so, you know, this iteration is the last iteration of the Pass Hunter. We have some other stuff brewing, but if this is the frame that you want, hop on it now because we're not going to be making it again. So there's that. As far as parts and accessories, the big one this year was the utility racks and handlebars. So the idea is that if you have a bike that maybe has a suspension fork or a bike that doesn't have mounts for a front bag and a front rack, this is a great solution for it because you have your nice comfy handlebars that we designed and then a rack that bolts to it, and then you put your big, you know, honker of a bag on it, or you can turn it the other direction and you can put a basket on it. Really, the world is your oyster for how you want to set this thing up. It's very obviously utilitarian, and I mean, just so many different ways that you can set it up and what you can use it for. Been really enjoying the different ways that people have been setting those up. The next one is the Eccentric bottom brackets. Those sold out basically instantaneously. The idea is that if you have a bike with vertical dropouts, so you basically can't pull the wheel back and tension the chain like you would with a track dropout or a horizontal dropout, you would either have to use a chain tensioner, which maybe doesn't look the best, or you have to figure out that magic gear where basically the chain is tensioned sufficiently to allow you to run a single speed. But this is a different solution. So basically you can use a 24 millimeter Hollowtech, basically a Shimano Hollowtech spindle, and you can use this bottom bracket where it's eccentric, obviously, that's why it's called that, and it basically rotates the position of the bottom bracket spindle relative to the rear dropout enough that you can get chain tension. So it looks super clean, very popular, and we're getting more of those, I think in February. Yeah. Thin wall headset spacers, pretty much the same, you know, as their name. They're thinner wall spacers, so you can make your headset stack a little bit more slender. It comes in nice polish finish or regular silver and black. I think these headset spacers do the right thing. I think they look great. They're super lightweight, and yeah, what can I say? They're spacers. We made some things in black. I don't know what took us so long, but we are now offering a 31.8 stem in black. Same with our 700 by 45 millimeter fenders. Yeah. And the last thing on our list is a tool that we should have invested in a long time ago. I don't know the hold up. I think maybe it was a little bit, I thought it was going to be much more complicated than it really is, but it's a 3D printer. We've been able to already go from drawing to prototype of several projects that we've been working on that would have taken us months and months. And we can print it here, we can make as many modifications and reprint it and break it and then reprint it and as much as we want. And we've already used this on 3 projects that we've been working on. So I'm really excited about it. In addition, I can make some minis for D&D. Most recently, I made a mini for my character who unfortunately met his end during a epic battle with a red dragon. Doesn't matter that I may have stolen his gold hoard in a volcano that was erupting in a fire plane, but no matter. I had to re-roll a new character, so of course I had to make a new mini for it. So, all right, let's go to projects that we've been working on. So, first up is a crankset. Using a 3D printer, we are making this crankset. I'm not going to release too much information about it quite yet, but it's a 3-piece crankset using a square taper spindle and a direct mount. Very excited about it. I think it's going to be a really nice complement to what we already have. And I think it's going to look nice on both classic bikes and more modern bikes. It's going to give a little bit of a flair, a little bit of an edge even to modern bikes. So I think it's going to be really cool. I already teased this before, but we're working on a new rear rack. The idea is that it is going to be able to fit both on the rear of the bike and also on the front. We made these little clips that we can test things out, exactly place the hardware where we need it to be. It's going to take anything cages. I say anything cages because it's kind of like the Kleenex of the tissue world. But basically cargo cages, 2 on each side, and you can also put panniers on it. It's very lightweight, very simple, very much looking forward to it. Next up is a rear bag standoff, something that I've kind of wanted for a long time because I don't know about you, but for me, when the rear saddlebag, like a transverse style, when I ride with them, they rub the back of my thighs, and it just bugs me to no end. And this standoff basically pushes it away, so it basically both stands off from the seat post, but it also stabilizes the bag from swaying too much. So very much looking forward to that. And the big one. This is something that we've been working on for a while, and we showed it at Made. We haven't talked about it on the website yet, but it's an alloy frame. It's an aluminum alloy frame. You know, all the frames that we've done so far, have been steel. And I think alloy for this particular bike, and I say alloy, I mean aluminum alloy, it's just easier to say. I think alloy is a fantastic use for it. It's light. We can shape the tubes and dial in the geometry just so, without really any sort of penalty on comfort. You know, typically you think of like the, Cannondales from the, mid 90s, early 2000s that were basically, they were like bricks, they were riding like bricks where they were super unresponsive. They were fairly light for the time, but they'll rattle out your fillings and stuff like that. But nowadays with tube technology, geometry, fit, ergonomics with handlebars and saddles, tires and wheels, they ride supremely nicely, even under harsh conditions. I'm very excited for this project. And when we have the next batch of samples, we will show them to you. And then, on a personal note, Adrian and I are expecting our second child. And so that's obviously a really, really big thing for 2024. So we're very much looking forward to that. And I'll end it here. Thank you so much for another wonderful year. Thank you to our customers. Thank you to our wholesalers, our distributors, our readers, and our viewers like you. And a big thank you to our staff for another fantastic year. You all allow Velo Orange to run like clockwork, and it's very much appreciated. Thank you. So I'm going to end it here. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2024. Happy riding.